You've probably heard of No Child Left Behind, the federal education law that's been on the books since 2002. The era of No Child Left Behind, a law a lot of people really hated, is over, and the Every Student Succeeds Act has replaced it. There are a lot of questions now about how Essa, as it's called, will work.
So how is Essa different from the No Child Left Behind Act?
So No Child Left Behind put a lot of power in the hands of the federal government. They were kind of block. And Essa seeks to really roll that back, giving states and school districts the chance to call the shots on things like testing, teacher quality, and fixing failing schools.
No Child Left Behind is working.
This bill makes long overdue fixes to the last education law.
Do kids still have to take tests every year?
So let me think about that. Yes, kids still have to take yearly tests in reading and math in grades 3 through 8, plus one time in high school. And schools still have to report test scores.
How does Essa rate schools differently?
Good question. So even though kids still have to take those yearly tests, Essa wants states to look at a broader range of factors. States have to pick at least one other indicator that gets at whether kids have the opportunity to learn. That could be access to advanced coursework, maybe school climate. Plus, Essa gives states a lot more flexibility when it comes to the tests themselves. Districts could decide to have high school kids use the SAT or the ACT instead of the state exam. Plus, under Essa, a handful of states can experiment with new forms of testing, allowing students to work together on performance tasks instead of those fill-in-the-bubble tests that we're all used to.
What kinds of requirements does Essa have for teachers?
So under No Child Left Behind, teachers had to be highly qualified. That meant that they had to have a bachelor's degree in the subject they were teaching plus state certification. A few years ago, the Education Department gave states some wiggle room on that requirement, as long as they promised to evaluate teachers in part based on student test scores. As it ended up though, a lot of teachers found that frustrating. It was really hard to get those evaluations right. Under the new law now, states are in the driver's seat when it comes to teachers. They can decide if they want to stick with highly qualified or those evaluations based on test scores, but they don't have to do either.
And what does Essa say about the Common Core?
So Essa says states must set standards that get students ready for college without the need to take remedial courses. But the federal government can't tell states what their standards should be or encourage them to adopt a certain set of standards, including the Common Core.
What does Essa say about low-performing schools?
States will still have to identify and fix the bottom 5% of schools and those with really high dropout rates.
Hold on a moment. Has Essa already hit schools?
Not quite yet. It won't be fully in place until the 2017-18 school year. Many of the decisions about how to judge student performance, improve schools, and hold teachers accountable are going to have to be made by states and districts. If they choose to stick with what they're doing now, things aren't going to change very much. If they go off in a very different direction, though, we could see big changes.